Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me for pricing. I am T Mosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a 2022 update of a model originally launched in 2020. This is the Urwerk UR-100V UltraViolet in grade 5 titanium, media blasted. You can see that it features a violet DLC application and then lovely violet internals, including the scale and the aluminum carousel. Now this watch lies to tell the truth, because ultraviolet light, while the inspiration for the model, is not actually within the visible spectrum that human eyes can perceive. You can see its effect on other fluorescing materials, but you cannot see ultraviolet light itself. So again, a watch that sort of gives you the idea without being literal. It lies to tell the truth. 41 millimeters across. It is 49.7 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip and 13.3 millimeters thick. Being titanium and sapphire, and that's most of its composition, it's fairly light. Though it's large on the wrist, as with most Urwerk timepieces, it wears smaller than it is. It actually wears thinner too, as you can see. 13.3 and generously sloped, with a lot of that thickness being the domed sapphire. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, this doesn't feel like it's pushing the limit. I think you could go down to 15 centimeters circumference and still wear this quite securely. It's always going to be an outrageous looking thing, but that's the nature of Urwerk. It actually fits quite securely. The strap in this instance is black, of course tapered, integrated, and an Urwerk factory piece. It's designed specifically for this watch, so if you wanted to replace the strap, you'd have to go with an Urwerk OEM unit or get something very highly customized. You can see it's been sectioned and it has these little rectangular hobnails. There's a little bit of a profile. You can see it thins out as it moves away from the wrist. On the underside, there are little golf ball-like dimples that enlarge as they move away from the lugs, and then we have a couple of pre-scored segments so you can cut this strap to suit, and of course we'll do that for you to make sure it's properly sized. We have a matching titanium PVD blackened folding clasp. You can see there's actually a spring-loaded ceramic pin snaps in there to ensure that over time the tolerance remains crisp, and when it's actually closed you see the Urwerk logo as well as the hobnails. And then we have a twin trigger release system, so you have to press both, not one but both, to open this up, meaning it's very secure on the wrist. The case is simple. It's media blast. It's actually shot blasted in PVD, this violet color. You can see that there are serrations on each side, a styling theme that's continuous throughout the watch. You'll see the same kind of profile on the crown, which has the Urwerk logo. It says limited, and in fact it is. Production will be limited, though limited by production capacity, not to a specific number, so it's important to make that distinction. You can see that the plate itself has been satinated on its top, beveled on its flanks, then the screws themselves are black polished. Outstanding attention to detail. Urwerk's satellite hours system was derived from the Audemars Piguet star wheel displays of the 1990s. AP in turn took the wandering hours clock complication from the Renaissance and put it on a watch. So the way this works is it is a digital scale with the current Arabic numeral alongside this scale representing the hour, and then you can see that little arrow index points to the current minute. So it's currently 5:45. Now it's 5:50, just like that. Exit stage left, the new hour enters stage right, and the scale begins anew. Now I know you're wondering, so I'm going to show you that yes, this watch does have quite a bit of lume, and in two colors at that. The carousel, which has been colored a lovely violet, is made of aluminum, so ultralight with a minimal drain on the power capacity. If you look here, you can see that there are these kilometer measurements on the side, and you may be wondering, what on earth are those? Well, the Earth rotates exactly 555.55 kilometers in 20 minutes, and this little span, this little cutout span, represents 20 minutes duration. And on its opposite flank, you can see there's another scale that represents the distance the Earth travels as it hurtles through space in 20 minutes, 35,742 kilometers. Now you can see internally there's a couple of different tones of violet. There are also a couple of different textures and finishes used here. And it is a dynamic thing to see as the satellites and the carousel perform their ballet. It's a graceful thing, and it's all achieved using Maltese cross rotating mechanisms, so it's a lot more durable. And maintenance light compared to the Audemars Piguet spring and star wheel system. This is much more robust. We'll open up the back and we have what Urwerk calls a Windfanger planetary rotor system. You can see that the rotor itself has a little brake that's built in, and it's a little bit like a windmill or a pinwheel. And what it does is it helps to slow down the movement of the rotor to reduce wear on the winding system. Now, you saw those golf ball dimples on the underside of the strap. You can see them echoed again for an open, airy look on the rotor. And then underneath that is a Zenith Elite. So Zenith Elite is a high-grade, thin, high horology automatic movement here in combination with the Windfanger system and the satellite hours. Urwerk calls this the UR-100V. It is a unidirectional winder with a 48-hour power reserve, a 4 Hz beat rate. It pivots on 40 joules total. All this is 30 meters water resistant. And although the watch doesn't have a seconds hand, if you pull the crown out, it does actually stop the balance and hold the watch. So the hacking function remains intact, even though the seconds display is non-existent. And this is a very, very cool watch that's a lot of fun from one of the earliest and best independents in the business, as Felix Baumgartner, watchmaker, and Martin Fry, designer, have been building Urwerk since their initial UR-101 back in 1997. So they're really part of the plank owner class of independent horology in the industry. And this is one of their best in recent years. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.